was one of the reasons I thought about doing this video, was it reminded me of this card.
Balance,
I didn't
it was
even turn
great
it off.
for what it did to
It just went
creatures.
to sleep
Basically,
mode.
removed all creatures like on the spot because you would only play it when you had no creatures. But balance was busted because of what it did to lands and the hand, making the fact that you could make somebody discard their whole hand and sacrifice all their lands was what made balance like a bannable card. And it is
Okay.
Yeah. This isn't that.
It's everything but the hand. So to be fair, I mean,
it's not the graveyard either. Yeah, it exiles. It face down exiles, but like you still have access to your yard if you built a big old yard by popping off. This is a nice card to play at the end of a big pop off turn to bring them back to Earth. But I'm assuming that current Yu-Gi-Oh gets its value in other ways. I keep on just going back to the first card you showed me. You showed me Fenrir, and it's like they just have another one. Like, what did you do? What have you done? What have you achieved? Like, they just have...
Maybe I shouldn't have started with Fenrir in that case.
They just have another one. And this is a trap card where
I
it's
just
like,
realized
all
what
right,
date
if
it is.
this becomes ubiquitous, if this is a common part of the meta, people adapt. And they probably got blown out by it in week 1, and then they started thinking about this if it was getting played a lot. And they started leaving less stuff on the field after the battle phase. And, why just set things? Play hand traps, play less trap cards on the field, I guess. And then the way that meta evolves is people run this less because it's not as effective as it used to be, which then people start building to the board again. They might pick this up and there's an ebb and flow there. I don't think this card has to be banned. I'm thinking that the way that things currently go, this lets people get enough value out of their cards. It punishes people who play carelessly, and it probably fluctuates in meta and becomes less good as soon as people actually give it respect. So I'm going to say not banned.
All right, evenly matched is insane. This card is so good. I do not even know where to start with this. So evenly matched, it's kind of hard. With our combo decks will go really wide, where you summon a bunch of guys, you commit a bunch of cards to the field. Yes, in the instance of Fenrir, you might add a card back to your hand. But I want to say combo decks, for the most part, are decks that aren't going to play
nice.
hand traps or things that they want to keep in the hand. Every card is a piece to put on the field and make the field wide and just do a lot of crazy stuff and make it.
I like this collab a lot more. The biggest difference between the VTuber collab and the Blue Archive collab, the Blue Archive cards do literally everything. What you
can do is your opponent can just slam everything down, card after card.
These cards don't do that.
And you say, okay, battle phase. And as soon as your opponent does that without doing anything else, your heart just sinks because you know exactly what's coming. Now, what's fun about this is that this actually causes mind games as well. So people will start scrambling because in the battle phase, before they go to the end of the battle phase, the opponent might start just firing off effects because they think their board's going to get hit by evenly matched, so they start doing things. And then if they have evenly matched, your whole board gets wiped, and now maybe they have no resources. Or the funnier scenario is they don't have evenly matched. They did all these things that they wouldn't otherwise do.
We always hit the level 3, baby.
Second main phase. So psychologically, this card actually adds a really interesting dynamic to the game. And people have been baited by this card numerous times, but it's something that you have to respect because it is in the card pool.
Wait, is this really Alpha Solo real?
Decks are playing a lot of trap cards in the back row.
Why am I only
evenly
playing
match could be a way to hose those out as well, right? Because now it's like, oh, good, I'm going to 4-for-1 you with evenly match. And typically people just play it from the hand. They don't ever set this card face down unless they absolutely have to, just to get the maximum value out of it. But you're correct. This card is at 3. It isn't played all the time. I will say that, just like you said, actually, it sort of ebbs and flows depending on the way that the meta is shaping up. It's seen an uptick in play relatively recently at the time of recording this, but there have been formats where it's like a game-defining card, and there's other formats where this card's not particularly good because the decks that are the best decks don't go wide enough for evenly matched.
I don't remember what Lisa does.
Phenomenal card. It's a great balancing board-breaking type of card, and people love it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Punish them.
I thought you would like this one.
Nice job, nerd. You went wide. It's all going away.
It's all going away. Man, when you get evenly matched for 7, you never forget it. It's awful. All right.
So we're playing good stuff.
2 left.
Triple Tactics Talent. It's a spell card. And it says, if your opponent has activated a monster effect during your main phase this turn, activate one of these effects. Draw 2 cards. Take control of one monster your opponent controls until end of phase.
There's no
Look
value to
at your
doing
opponent's
this.
hand and choose one card from it to shuffle into the deck. You can only activate one triple tactics talent per turn. This is a spell card. It doesn't. Does this stay on the field?
You activate it, it does the thing, and then it goes to the graveyard.
That's
not
okay. Okay, yep. Not continuous. That's the word I was looking for. And it's flexible. It's got options. If your opponent has activated a monster effect during your main phase. So I have to try to calculate how often and common and predictable it is that your opponent activates a monster effect during your main phase. I don't know. Is this something that happens every duel? If assume this card didn't exist, or in the before times. Is this a really common occurrence?
Well, hand traps exist, so...
I do, but it says monster effect.
Hand traps are monsters. Remember, we call them traps, but they are monsters by nature.
That makes a lot of sense. It's really easy to understand. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's hand trap because they operate like trap cards.
Okay.
Because you can use them at instant speed.
If we're talking about hand traps that are actually monsters, and this isn't... And many of them are monsters, and
pretty much all of them are. Yep. Remember, we did a whole video just on hand traps, if you recall.
Yeah, I didn't remember whether or not they were all monsters. I didn't calculate this
Sorry.
into my...
Sorry.
Yeah, no, this is helpful. This is good. I
want to make sure you have the context.
Yeah, so this is pretty normal at this stage. Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 is all about hand monster traps. If that's true, then what you have here is Pot of Greed. Or better, if you think that one of the other... What was the... Is it the Dust Shoot or something? What is the card that lets you look at the opponent's hand and was apparently so powerful for that it got banned?
The one you're thinking of is Trap Dust Shoot.
Yeah.
All three of these bullet points are each referencing a banned card. This is not the Trap Dust Shoot. Look at your opponent's hand, but this is a different one. I don't think I've shown it to you. So all three of these bullet points are banned cards. Which is why this card I thought would be very fun to show you.
Why did they do this?
People were very excited. People were very excited when this card got printed.
I am guessing that a lot of what makes these hand traps so popular is the degeneracy of the format and where it would be without them. So why would you make a card that compounds the degeneracy?
Even TGB knew this card was
safe, and now you're going to give the ones forcing the degeneracy more busted shit? What are they doing?
I cannot begin to tell you how hyped people were when this card got announced. You even understand. You don't even play this game.
How old is this card?
This was printed, I'm going to double check. It was within the past few years. It's actually quite new. This was printed, 2020 was the first printing. Okay, a little bit older than I thought. Are you doing the test to see if it's old enough to get banned? Is that why you were asking?
Maybe.
Okay, I see you.
Alright, if that's such a part of the meta, why wouldn't people run this card? I guess dude, I can't even begin to ask what they're thinking if the meta went this far. Are there decks that don't use hand traps?
Yes.
Oh, sure, this is their payoff. I never milled any, so I wouldn't have known. Let's go, we got a blue.
Yes, but let me give context to this. So I kind of described earlier with evenly matched. A lot of like combo decks. It's weird because there's a lot of overlap here, but decks that are like strictly considered a combo deck don't play hand traps because every single card in the deck is trying to like achieve some combo, so they choose not to play hand traps because they just assume they don't need those defensive cards to beat the opponent. There are like control decks that play a lot of trap cards and like very few very strong monsters to pair with those trap cards. They might play a couple of hand traps, but like only a select few. But I will say that for the most part, every single deck is playing some quantity of hand traps, and I will give you context. It is anywhere from like 9 to 18 in any given circumstance, for the most part.
And your deck size is
40.
40. So one in every opening hand is more than one in opening hand is least. Normal. Okay.
Yes, at least.
And in worst case, you can sideboard this out.
There's still a lot of games you play where nothing happens.
I feel like never happen.
I feel like I've broken you.
The only way that this
where you
is
don't
fine
draw
is
anything.
if it's the philosophy of everything is busted, so nothing is busted. In a way, this is a green light to print busted hand traps to like push hand traps further than they were ever pushed before.
Unless they've already been printed, and this is a check to that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So you're sitting there. You're the game. You are owner of game. You design game. You ban things in game. You have choices. This hand trap situation has gone crazy. Look at them. They're putting 9 to 18 of them in every deck. Everything's just becoming this cesspool of interaction for nothing. What do we do? Do we ban some of these? Because you don't want maybe there's a fear of making the game just like who has the right hand trap in their opening hand wins, right? Or do we give people a way to recover when they get blown out by the hand trap because somebody had the right hand trap? Do we hook them up with something, rebuild, and keep going so it's not just dead in the water at that phase?
I'll also help you out. Remember, Kashtira Fenrir, we saw him in the beginning. He can use his effect during the opponent's turn to banish stuff face down, right? If you activate something, Fenrir then activates to banish one of your things. So it's not just hand traps. There are monsters that activate on the field.
Yeah.
So
there's even more. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I want to make sure you have the full scope. I want to make sure you have the full scope.
Yeah, you getting to play this is normal. That's what I'm hearing. Like, if this is in your hand, it's probably not a dead card for the entire game. My God, draw 2 cards is right there, dude. It's right there. And this legal has 3 of. Dude, this card looks sick and stupid and absolutely nuts. But is there a world where you have to actually scale it back? It says you can only activate 1 per turn, right? So if you have 2 or 3 of these in your hand and the opponent does the thing and you play 1, and then these others are stuck, does it balance itself with 1 per turn in a way that, maybe now you have trouble finding the next window? And here's the other thing. You play one of these, and the opponent's like, okay, you can only play 1 of those per turn, so now I'm going to just pop off and play 2 or 3 more things. Well, I know you can't use that. Another one anyway. Totally on the docket. Pot agreed no, but I feel like maybe some of these other cards weren't as dangerous as time went on.
Dude, Shadow.
God, they're so good. Look at the opponent's hand. Take a card. Oh no, they know all my secrets. It's over. Scoop on the spot.
You were in awe that Trap Dust Shoot was banned, so remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Just a normal magic card that we print for 1 mana 50 times, but apparently too good for Yu-Gi-Oh!
I showed that to Voxy recently. Not Trap Dust Shoot, but a card even worse than Trap Dust Shoot, and she had the same reaction you did, that she could not. She was speechless that a card like this is banned in our game.
Yeah, we do this all the time, man. In fact, you guys should try it. You should print more of them and do that instead of whatever these hand traps are. It's really fun. God, I don't know, dude. I don't see why they made this. I do. It's money. Money's the
Money.
answer. They made
Money.
this for money. But is there a world where this is fine because everything's not fine? Yeah, that world exists. It is obnoxious to think about this being as a 3-up, but it does kind of self-regulate in that way that maybe you draw it at the wrong time after the window's passed, or you draw 3 of them but only get to play 1. So I don't know. I'm gonna, you know what? Fuck it. It's fine. 3 banned cards in 1, and it's fine. Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You are correct, CGP. This card is legal at 3 copies.
I've learned so much.
You have. You actually figured out the biggest limiter of this card is the fact you can only fire 1 per turn. And that may not seem like as big of a deal as someone who comes from Magic, but in Yu-Gi-Oh, you never want to have multiples of cards in your hand that have that restriction on them, because that can really make the difference in terms of like how much interaction you have either during your turn or your opponent's. And a lot of hand traps and a lot of cards we've actually seen throughout this video do have that once per turn restriction on them. Right, which is why when you see cards that don't have that restriction, your eyes light up because you're like, oh my god, I could fire multiple of these. They're not dead in my hand. But yeah, the hype surrounding this card when it was first released was insane. Like, people, again, 3 banned cards. Ironically, one of these cards is actually legal again, funny enough. So it's not, like, as crazy as it was. But that apparently just shows the way that the game has progressed at this point. It's a phenomenal card. Being able to either just get more cards to keep playing after your opponent hand traps you, to be able to take their biggest threat potentially and use it against your opponent's really big. And looking at the opponent's hand is also really important because you know that hand traps exist. And so being able to not only know what their hand is composed of, but then also take the best card that's going to stop your play, or take out the best card that they have that's going to prevent them from playing, completely dismantle their strategy. All 3 options are used.
I forgot Sayuragi targets.
It may blow your mind to learn that this card has not been like a staple 3-of in every deck since printing. It's a card that, again, it really just depends on like the way that formats play out, because think about like evenly matched, right? That like board breaking sort of card. We kind of go back and forth between are hand traps better or are board breaking cards better? Are the cards better that are going to stop the opponent from doing the thing, or are the cards better that are going to actually dismantle the opponent after they've done the thing? So we kind of go back and forth in between those 2 types of effects, and Triple Tactics Talent falls in the more board-breaking type of effect rather than like a hand trap, because you can't use it during your opponent's turn. You have to use it on your own. And so it's for as powerful as it is, you would think every deck would just always run 3 of this until the end of time. Just the way that certain decks function, Triple Tactics Talent may not actually be that good against them. And so, and again, because of the restriction of only being able to use it once, sometimes people will just play a singular copy just so they don't draw multiples. That's happened plenty of times. But insanely good card, and it's people love this card. It's so much fun. It's a great card. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why not 1 copy? Probably every deck could go for 1. Yep.
That's something people do. And there's ways to search this card as well, so that if you like are in a situation where your opponent used a monster effect, then you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to use this card to get tactics and then just use it anyway. So you can get away with just having 1, and that's okay sometimes. All right, last card. This one is going to be quite fun. Let's see what you think about this guy.
Red Eye.
Bust out the glasses.
I will. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Level 8? Alright, off to a great start. Dark Monster. Look at the frickin' armor on this weirdo. Oh my goodness. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Spellcaster Fusion Effect. Dark Magician plus Red Eyes Black Dragon or 1 Dragon Effect monster.
For the purposes of this, remember a fusion monster, you take 2 guys to make 1. For the purposes of this, assume that this is very easy to make. Just so that's not a limiting factor in your evaluation.
I think I remember the Dark Magician, but sure, let's go.
That's a very classic card. That's what this is based on.
Cannot be destroyed by card effects. Oh, nice. Neither player can target this card with card effects. Okay. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. You can use this effect a number of times per turn, up to the number of normal monsters used as fusion material for this card.
So I'm going to stop you there. Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon are both normal monsters, monsters without effects. So you could use this twice per turn.
Just on right there. Just with the usual pieces twice per turn. Cool. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated at quick effect, you can discard one card and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack.
100 rated chess, but there's a world tension from 0 to 100. Starting at 0, a capture increases world tension by 15, a check increases by 30, a normal move decreases by 5. If world tension reaches 100, the world ends. Well, I mean, I don't really want to end the world right now, so let's just change it to the video ends. Let's go. We get a 117 from Turbian. E4. E5. Well, I mean, for a challenge that depends on the progress like this, the best plan is to have no plan at all and just adapt to whatever happens during the game. There is also a lot of room to make mistakes, so I'll say it is actually very doable. Queen F3. Knight C6. Well, I mean, he can actually immediately end the video here by Queen takes F7 check, a capture and also a check bringing the tension to 45. King takes F7 is 60. Bishop C4 check is 90 and then Bishop F7 random check to end the video. But I mean, who plays like that anyway? Right? Bishop C4. Knight F6. So far so good. I mean, as long as no capture and no check happening, then it is perfectly fine. D3. Knight D4. Huh. If giving checks is bad, then capturing the queen for an early resignation is definitely the most optimal approach. Queen E3. Aha. That blunders a whoa, wait. Okay, on second thought, if I go knight takes C2 check, world tension increases by 45 as it is a capture and a check. King D1 is 60. Then knight takes the queen is another capture and check. And he recaptures my knight is actually just enough to end the video. Yikes. I guess he can't take his queen now then. Knight G4 instead. Queen G3. That still blunders the rook fork, and if he takes my knight there is D5 double attack. But that line leads to way too many captures and I don't even want to calculate. D6 instead. No need to rush, he already brought his queen out. She is going to die sooner or later. H3. Knight back. Knight C3 G6 Knight F3 Bishop G7 Knight G5 Castle. Queen H4. Bishop D7. Queen H4 is very suspicious though. It seems like he wanted to go Queen takes H7 checkmate. But of course now he should have already seen that I obviously have a knight that is backwardly defending that pawn. Right? Well, I mean, it is actually fine. It's only 60 tension for a queen. The video will still survive. Knight takes H7 is forced. Okay, but now do not trade knights. You are down a queen, and there is no reason to trade your active G5 knight for my offside knight on H7. Never mind. I can take that knight. It doesn't end the video yet, but 90 out of 100 is way too close and too dangerous. Therefore, after thinking for a while, rook E8 instead. I mean, leaving that knight alive also has its own drawbacks, but I just have to assume that keeping the number as low as possible is a lot safer than testing my opponent's limit. And I also want to leave some leeway for myself to make captures attacking his king. Castle. Queen C8. Knight D5. Aha. He's threatening knight F6 check increases tension by 30. I have to take the knight. C3. Knight back. This battery needs 3 captures to work. I have to bring the world tension down to 50 if I want to sack my bishop at the pawn. Rook E1. Random move. I can't do anything though. Need lower tension to start my attack. H4. Aha. Yes. That allows bishop H3 not a capture. He takes H3. Queen takes H3. 70 out of 100. I've just realized that I dropped knight c7, but it's alright. At most he can only bring it to 95 out of 100. As long as it's not 100, then the video continues. Bishop b5. Yes. c6. Now knight c7 isn't a capture anymore, and please don't make a desperado. Okay, this is bad. Rook lift. You know what? I messed up. I allowed way too many captures on the queen side, and there is no way I can prevent all of them. Let's just go for his king, and we can only hope that he'll take my big pawn instead of forking the rooks. Thank you. Rook b8. Bishop a6. g5. Making way for my rook. There is no other way. He doesn't take. I'll take them. Bishop d2. Rook h6. Please don't see anything. Yes. And we have just enough tension for this final check. Rook h1. Checkmate in 1. Mission accomplished.
I'll play coffee.
If you do this card, gains 1,000 attack. What a
Buddy.
What a boss! What a boss! Okay. Okay. Can't kill it. Destroys everything. Counters everything. Wrecks everything. That's what I got. Yeah. What an end boss. Oh my god. Not hard to do, you say, huh? Well, this explains why they need all those hand traps.
Context. So I'll give you context. The way to summon this, there's a card called Red Eyes Fusion. It says send, in short, it says send Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon from your deck to the graveyard and summon this thing.
Nice. How nice. I imagine that's free.
The only downside to it is you're not allowed to summon the remainder of the turn. I'm sorry, at all. This is like the only summon you're allowed to perform for the turn.
What more could you need? Oh, okay. Big downside there. Wow. Yeah, what a punishment. You mean you have no friends when you're this freaking elite? Correct. You have no friends when you're this good.
He stands alone.
Yeah, you got your own table at the cafeteria. Probably fine. I mean, this is why they got to do it, right? This is why they got to interrupt everything. This is why. This is why you have cards in your card pool like Dimensional Barrier, and it's totally fine.
Is that what you've been missing? Have you been missing the why this whole time?
Not really. I just assume it's degenerate.